Are you in sales? Do you sell things either for a living or as part of your business? And do you have a hard time with it sometimes? Where you feel down, you feel discouraged, you feel frustrated? Specifically, do you feel frustrated, disappointed, angry, down, discouraged, or hopeless when you hear a no? When you've been in a great conversation or you've done all this work and then you get a no again and you just feel like giving up. And if you're in that situation or you've been there or you don't want to be there again, watch this episode. I'm going to share some incredibly powerful stuff with you. It's going to help you shift your sales confidence so you can be energized and excited to get out there and to really make stuff happen, really provide what your customers and potential customers need and want in their lives, and really end up serving and making a ton in the process. Welcome to the Art of Extraordinary Confidence. I'm your host, Dr. Aziz, the best-selling author of The Solution to Social Anxiety, Business Edition. And this is a show for you if you want to 10x your confidence in any area of life that matters to you. Dating, relationships, business, sales, which is what this episode is all about, as well as your social life, your financial life, any area. Confidence is the foundation of all success. And today we're going to look at your confidence in sales, because you probably know a bunch of sales tactics and strategies and how to do it. In fact, that's a lot of sales trainings are all about what to do, how to close, how to transition, how to qualify, all this stuff. And maybe there's even a little bit of like pep in there about, stick with it and that sort of thing. But we all know that when you're in it and then you get that no again at the end of the day, or it's the third one in a row that day, and you're just like, God, right? And it's frustrating, and it triggers this sense of failure. I'm not good enough. If I were better, and sometimes the sales trainings can even do that, right? Because it's like, well, if I just use that person's system, they say I should be succeeding at X% and I'm not. And then we feel even lower and we feel discouraged, and then we bring that energy into the next sales conversation. And how does that work? Have you ever been in that place where it's almost like you enter into the conversation like, shit, here I go. I don't know what the point is. It's going to be a waste of time. They're going to say no anyway. Ugh. Right? And you're just demoralized. We've all been there. If you've been in sales, you've done it for any length of time, or you're in your business and you're just not getting into sales. You're just not doing it as much as you need to because you don't want to experience that. Or you did for a while and you said, this stuff doesn't work. Any of that stuff's happening. Here is a technique, a shift, a mental internal confidence shift that's going to change everything. And that is, no is your friend. No is your friend. We treat no like an enemy. We treat no like the thing we don't want. It's the failure. No is a failure. It's an unwanted outcome. But I want to encourage you to expand your perception to see that no is actually your friend. And here's why. Because I don't know what your particular industry is or your conversion is, but let's say you need to talk and have 10 sales conversations with people to sell 3 of your thing. It could be more, it could be lower, depending on where you are in your industry and your credibility, your authority, what you're selling. But let's just say that's the number. 3 out of 10 on average is going to say yes. And it's a win-win because they get what they need and you get the commission or the sale and everyone's happy. 7 out of 10 people don't want it, not interested, can't afford it, not the right time, whatever it is. So that means in order to get 3, you need to have 10 conversations. How many no's are you getting? 7. 7 no's. Significantly more no's than yeses. And instead of thinking it's like, 7 failures to get those 3 successes. Damn, that's a bad ratio. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep getting these no's. What if it's like the no is just the required thing in order to get to the yes? So, that's, 3 no's for every yes, about, in those numbers. So that means you get your first no and you're like, great, I'm two or 3 away from my next yes. Get your next no, great, I'm real close to get that yes. I'm due, right? Because statistically you are. And we want to keep that in mind. So a mentor of mine who I love, Steve Chandler, says yes lives in the land of no. So when we want that yes, we got to go into the land of no and hang out there and deal with it and interact with it a lot. And so if we're like, no is bad, then we're not going to go into the land of no and we're not going to get those yeses. And the faster that you can go into no, the more yeses you can get. So If you get a no and you're like, oh, failure, you're not going to set up your next conversation until later that week maybe. But what if you set up 3 conversations in a day? And each time you got a no, you celebrated it. Now, I know this might sound crazy, but try it out. And it's counterintuitive. I mean, I'm not saying that you watch this video and the next no, you're going to be like, oh, I feel fantastic. No, we got to train ourselves to do this. That's why in my live events, we're working on confidence in everything, sales, dating. This obviously applies to dating and meeting women too, right? Because I don't know what your number out of 10 women that you're going to talk to, but you're not going to date all of them. You're not even going to get a number from all of them. So this applies to dating too, any other area of our life, creating friendships, all that stuff. Yes lives in the land of no. So I have a banner that we have on the wall in the live events. We have a number of them. They're powerful message that I want people to remember. And one is celebrate no. Celebrate rejection, celebrate failure, celebrate mistakes, because that means we're going to learn something. So when someone comes back, and I have people go out into the world during the event and try out stuff, get no's, get rejections, try to make sales if they're in sales, try to talk to women if that's what they want to do, and then they come back in and they share. And anytime someone's like, yeah, I called up someone that's been in my, Rolodex for a while. It's no longer a Rolodex, it's your phone, right? Your email. And I talked to them and they're interested, but they just said they just couldn't commit to anything right now. And they said no. And they usually kind of share it sort of sheepishly. They did it, they did the exercise, but they're like, no. And I'll be like, so they said no? And they're like, yeah. And then we've trained ourselves to do this. Everyone in the room stands up and we just jump up and down and celebrate like crazy. We're like, yeah! And it's ridiculous and the person's laughing and it's stupid and silly, but it changes our brain chemistry. It changes everything. And even if you don't want to do it, do it. So I'll do this time. I'll have a sales conversation, seems like it's going well, and it's a no. And I'm like, okay. And then I hang up the phone and I'm just like, and then no matter what, I get up out of my chair and I jump up and down. I'm like, yeah, yes. Because we got to retrain ourselves to think this way. This is not how we were trained to think. There is so much programming that tells us it's a failure and you're a failure if you get a no, but it's complete and total bullshit. The truth is that yes lives in the land of no. And you want to dive in and just get into the next conversation and say, I do, here's the next one. And maybe you want to tweak what you're doing along the way, but oftentimes those are just the numbers. That's just what you're going to have to do. You're just going to have a certain number of conversations before you get that yes. So the more you can see that, accept that, agree to that, stop fighting that, the faster you can get back on, get those yeses. And no, so another really simple way to think of this is, let's say for a sale, you get $1,000. Again, I don't know what your industry is. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. You get $1,000 and you got to talk to, so to get $3,000, 3 sales, you got to talk to 10 people. That means, so it's, let's say 4 conversations, 3 no's and 1 yes. That means if it's $1,000 after 4 conversations, that means each no is $250. There's no is $250, no is $250, no is $250, yes, there's my $250. So I got 4, that's $1,000. Right? So each no is getting you closer. It's part of the process. You're getting the money when you get the no's. And the only way to really fail is not be getting any no's, not be having any conversations, not be asking for any sales. Then you're not going to get the results you want. You're not going to make the income you want. And you're not going to make the impact you want. So get out there, get no's, start collecting them, start celebrating them, and get into action. And your sales and your mindset, everything around this is going to skyrocket. So thanks for watching the show. Share your comments below. What have you noticed has worked for you? How do you stay motivated in sales? How do you celebrate no? Share your story. Share your experience. It benefits others when you share, and it benefits you to do so as well. So I'd love to read your comments and check out other episodes of this show. If you want to get unlimited and unstoppable power in this area, I highly recommend checking out Confidence Unleashed at confidenceunleashednow.com, because there is a huge amount, there's a whole section in there about business confidence and about sales, whole module. We go deep into that stuff, and it gets you to this place of unstoppable power to where you really don't fear rejection anymore, and it never holds you back. So check that program out if it's right for you. And until we speak again, may you have the courage to be who you are and to know in a deep level that you're awesome. I'll talk to you soon.